Hello, everybody. Welcome to First Coast Living. Happy Friday Eve. I'm David Benfield. You are?
Matt Cerna.
That's right. Producer Matt is joining me today. Jordan is still on vacation. She will be joining us again next week. We've got some great folks back. It's Keith and the boss is on set. Ow! And then we're talking about Kingfish, and I've got Sarah the Salt Lady behind us as well, so we're going to have a great show for you today. Before we get into all that stuff, though, we do want to talk about some sports, right? So the World Cup kicks off today in Mexico City as Mexico plays South Africa. Kickoff is scheduled for 3 p.m.
You wait 4 years for this.
Yeah,
Fired up.
Absolutely, and you can catch it on Fox. All right, so that should be pretty cool. I'm excited about it as well. But we need to switch some gears, right, and talk about the NBA. We got to talk about the association. My man is a die-hard Spurs fan.
Grew up South Texas, 2 hours south of San Antonio, spoiled by the winnings of Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker.
Yeah.
The first championship was against the Knicks in 1999. I was 5 years old, David, but let's
And you remember it like it was yesterday.
100%.
So the Knicks pull off the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history, overcoming a 29-point deficit to win the game, 107 to 106.
When I tell you, because as the game progresses, I couldn't watch it. I got in my car and I drove around my apartment complex.
No way! See, that's
I could not watch it.
That's like me with the Falcons game. So no kidding. I was so excited to watch the game. I'm not a huge basketball fan, but the previous game was so good. I was set up in the garage. I had Taco Bell going on. I had the beer sitting there ready to go, and then I watched the worst half of basketball ever.
And it's just heartbreaking because you're up 29 points. The Knicks miracle comeback. OG Anunoby, the tip-in, Statue of Liberty-esque tip-in.
It's amazing.
And I'm just here sad, hurt, disappointed.
I'm so surprised he showed up to work today.
I was contemplating calling out. I was like, no, I can't do that to the boys. Can't do that to the team. But it's sports. What are you going to do?
It is what it is.
As fans, you know this.
Yep.
All we can do is cheer. We're not the ones coaching. We're not the ones making the shots. All we can do is cheer. But it always feels like it hurts us the most.
Well,
it's worse than a heartbreak.
The series isn't over, my friend. You still have some games. He said I'm done. All right, well, we have a great show for you today. Let's get into it. Get ready to cast the line and tighten up those reels. We're going to be talking about the old school king fishing tournament and all the fun that it has to offer. Plus, who's ready for the weekend? Well, we got you covered with all the fun things you can do right here on the First Coast with your window to the weekend event guide. And you can watch and be in awe of a real-life dinosaur. We're going to show you how you get the behind-the-scenes look of Maximo at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm as we continue our week-long coverage of one of the special places in Florida. But first, it's time for Living in the Winn-Dixie Kitchen, brought to you by ProCraft Cabinetry, and we are joined by Sarah the Salt Lady, and today we're talking salads, right?
Salads. It's summertime, and people are always begging me at the farmer's market for when cucumbers and tomatoes are here, and it's now.
They're now.
It's not long. So if you want heirloom farm-grown tomatoes, now is the time.
I want one right now.
I know, and these ones there's so many different colors. These ones are like little cherry tomatoes.
Sun golds right there.
All of this produce is grown by Chandanko Farms. They grow on the Congreve and Penn lot, which is a long-time farm in town. But they grow all these different varieties, and that's what's nice about shopping at the farmer's market too. You get stuff that's some cool colors and different flavors and all of that as well. But I have a new flavor right now. The lemon herb just came back out.
Nice.
This isn't a new flavor, but you know, our flavors change seasonally. So it just came back into stock because we have lemon verbena, which is something they make lemon teas out of.
Lemon verbena.
Yeah, but this is the only flavor, and this is my ultimate favorite flavor. So since this just got released, I thought salad time. Lemon herb.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I like
so
it.
I'm gonna start. I wanted to make it as simple as possible because that's the other thing about the summer. You need to go.
Yeah, gotta be quick.
So I just use a little bit of oil. This is avocado oil, but you can use whatever flavor. Like if you have some flavored oil in your pantry, this is a great time to use that. Vinegar too. Again, I just use an apple cider vinegar here. But if you have like balsamic, you have some cool vinegars. And then the lemon herb salt. And we're gonna put a decent amount of salt in here because this is gonna salt all of our veggies and everything as it gets tossed in. But you can see all of our herbs in there getting going. So that's how simple a dressing can be.
I like how you're building it in the bowl, right? So we're going to start with the dressing first, and then we're going to put everything on top of that.
Same thing if you're building it to go for lunch. You want to build it in a container with the dressing on the bottom. You might have seen this is a very girls algorithm thing, but girls have mason jar salads on our algorithms, and they have the dressing on the bottom. Then you put your hearty vegetables that can handle sitting in the dressing, and then your like floofy lettuce on top. So So same kind of thing here. We're starting with our dressing, and I just like when I'm building it in the bowl like this, I just like whisk it right up. Sure. And then Jordan's always asking me for like measurements, and it just kind of depends on what you're doing, right?
This isn't baking, we're cooking, right? So
and
we don't really
everybody
do that.
has their dressing situation that is their favorite. More vinegar, less vinegar, more oil, less oil. So this is up to you to play with it, play with what's in your pantry, and go from there. So we have a little dressing base now. Red onion, again, from Chandanko Farms. Some of their cucumbers. This is this white cucumber here.
Right
yeah.
on. Hold on.
So yeah, taste one. But it looks like a green regular cucumber in the middle. But it's what, and they're really tender on the outside
tastes just like a regular cucumber.
Yeah, but they're locally grown, no junk. And then look at all these pretty different colors of the tomatoes in there.
I love tomatoes.
So now we have all of our veg. It's getting its first top. Oop.
Later. See you, tomato.
Tomato on the run. So now it's getting like a little marinade here too with all of that first. And then this is spring mix from 5 Points Farm. They even have edible flowers.
Yeah.
And look at all the different varieties that are in here. This is a piece of kale, Swiss chard. So you're getting lots of different flavors within. And that's the other thing is like you don't need a really complicated dressing or a whole bunch of like milky stuff when you're eating the freshest, nice. I mean, look at the colors in this thing.
It's beautiful. Like we want those natural flavors to stand out, right?
Exactly.
We want to bring those out, not hide them.
When we have quality, that's the problem. Is like a lot of times people are dealing with produce that's such a bad quality from the grocery store that it's like you need to put all kinds of stuff on top of it to make it taste good, but not when we're eating farm. Oh, I lost my spoon. I'm all over the place today. All right, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of this so you can taste this one, and then all of this stuff is available at the Atlantic Beach Farmers Market. The produce. This is Chandanko Farms, so they sell at Atlantic Beach Farmers Market in Murray Hill. They also carry my salts because a lot of my herbs and peppers are
dang. That is delicious.
3 ingredients, and then whatever produce is in your fridge. It's just really that simple. Just
really
make some dinner. Go to the farmer's market. But they grow a lot of my produce as well, so you can get my salts on their table, and you can find us both at Atlantic Beach Farmers Market on Sundays. So summer salad, 3 ingredient dressing, done.
Keep going.
He's got too much food in his mouth.
Keep going.
So,
you're doing so great, Sarah.
I know one of the questions he was going to ask me was how to make this for dinner. So if you have this going, all you need to do is add a protein to it, and then you can have dinner and stuff too. So one of my favorite things to add to salads is a smoked salmon you can get from Alvarez Farm at the farmer's market. So I would probably put that on top here, but even a can of chickpeas or black beans would be a great way to make this a dinner too.
The salmon would be what
I love it. I'm a sucker for the salmon.
With the chicken. All right, I'm gonna check back in with you here in a little bit, right?
Yes, I got another thing for you.
All right, cool. I will see you in a minute. I'm gonna go take a walk. Let's go. Come on, follow me over here. It's time to hang out with the boss, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, madam.
What is happening? Good to see you as well. On the other side, okay.
From the anchor desk to being a special guest you know and love her, you can watch her here every morning on Good Morning Jacksonville. I'm talking about the boss, Miss Keitha Nelson, of course. She joins us to talk about her 4-part series highlighting local immigrant families who came to the U.S. in search of the American dream.
Yes.
It begins tonight at 5:30. So thank you so very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, David.
This is cool.
Yeah, I know. This is weird, huh?
Yeah,
I feel like this.
I know. Usually I'm like telling you guys to tune into her. This is cool. Okay, so talk to me about the inspiration behind the series.
You know what? First of all, we're Americans set to celebrate independence, right? 250 years, July 4th. And when you stop and think about that, for me, I think about this nation's history, all about migration. Of course, before independence, most of it was unfree. You had Europeans come here and indentured contracts, as well as enslaved Africans. But prior to independence, you have a lot of people coming from other countries just to the U.S. In order to achieve the American dream. Freedom, so much opportunity right here in the U.S. And we have a lot of local families that come here and they achieve some great success, and I'm going to highlight them.
I think that's cool.
Yes.
Like one of the things that folks don't really realize about Jacksonville is that we have a refugee intake center here, right? We're one of the few cities in the United States that actually has that. And so our immigrant population here is incredible.
Yes.
It's weaved in, and sometimes you don't even really notice it, right? Which I think is kind of beautiful and also kind of a bummer, right? Because I would like to showcase
Learn
those
more.
folks. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so so let's talk about the special a little bit more. Like, what can we expect when we tune in?
Well, tonight in particular, we're going to feature a family. Actually, this person, Andy Tran, he inspired this series because learning his story, coming here at 17, he left South Vietnam when communism pretty much took over the country. Came here with nothing, didn't know how to speak English, anything, but somehow he managed to achieve great success. He owns businesses, real estate, financial advisor. But when you hear these stories, it's kind of like, if they can come here with nothing and achieve this great success, what am I doing? You know?
Really.
So a part of this, a lot of the series I do, I want to inspire people to realize if they can do it, so can you. Exactly. You mentioned the population here. We have a booming Indian population in particular, and that continues to grow. Actually, the largest immigrant population in Northeast Florida are Indians, and we're going to introduce you to the Thavers next week. Now, that family, again, came here barely speaking English and somehow managed to achieve this great success. I'm in love with these stories. Oh, that's a Maritza right there as well.
Look at that cutie.
But and, you know, that's a part of this as well. You hear these families tell you it's not about them. It's about generational wealth and achieving something for the next generation, because so many times, you know, mom, dad come here, they work their fingers to the bone, working day and night, and what they have to show for it is their children achieving, right? It's not for you sometimes, it's about the next generation.
And that is really, it's impressive and selfless beyond belief, right?
Yes.
I used to, when I lived in Brooklyn, I was in college there, and I had to do basically my big thesis project was on Chino, who owned the little bodega at the corner. And my guy came over with absolutely nothing, didn't speak a lick of English, right? And he worked in the kitchen as a cook. He worked his way up, and then he bought the bodega, then he bought the building that the bodega's in, then he bought a house for him, and then he rents out the floors above.
And you hear this like, how are you able to do this?
Seriously.
Determination is one.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And you hear that time and time again. It really is a great series. I'm excited about it.
And I think it's also sometimes it's like where you're coming from, right? Like, you know, when we've been brought up in all of this, right? We tend to take it for granted. And when you come from somewhere else where you don't even have this kind of opportunities, you show up and it's a different story.
Right. A historian from Flagler College, who you'll hear from as well through the series, he said it best when he said, it takes an outsider to truly understand what it means to achieve the American dream, right? Because sometimes you're in an outside country, it's a foreign world, and you're just like, the streets are paved with gold there. Not quite, but you can achieve gold, right? You can achieve great success. If you hunker down, be determined, work hard, you can make it happen. You really can. That's what these stories will be displayed all throughout the month, starting tonight with the Trans, and then we'll keep it going for the next 3 weeks after. Just really great stories that, again, that I hope will inspire us all to do better, be great.
I dig it. Thank you, Keitha, so much. I'm going to get out of here.
You're
busy. You get back. You get prepared for stuff. I'm going to go take a walk. Let's go. Let's keep going. We're keeping on going. We're keeping on going. All right, calling all anglers on the First Coast. Get ready to hit the water and catch a big one. We're talking about the Old School Kingfish Shootout. Here to tell us all about it is Tournament Director Paul Dozer. Thank you so very much for being here today, man. Good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
All right, so tell us about the Old School Kingfish Shootout.
The Old School Kingfish Shootout is a fishing tournament, obviously, that is Saturday, June the 13th in Volano Beach in St. Augustine. And it's limited to 3 miles offshore. It has a tight boundary, which allows the smaller boats to compete on a level playing field with the big boats. We give away a 21-foot yellowfin valued at $130,000 as first place prize.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what makes Old School Kingfish Shootout different from other Kingfish tournaments?
Yeah, well, a traditional Kingfish tournament, it got to the point where big budget boats would buy all this big live bait and go run 100 miles from shore, and they'd leave the little guy back behind. So myself and another couple other people came up with an idea to have what we call a beach tournament, where again, you can't buy live bait, and it allows the small boats to compete on a level playing field with the big boats, which is, we had no idea it would be as big a fan favorite as it is, but we had 695 boats compete in this tournament last year. So
that's impressive.
It's a giant Kingfish tournament. Back in the mid 90s and stuff, the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish tournament used to have 1,000 boats. But since, like I mentioned, these big budget deals has kind of narrowed the field down. But now these local beach tournaments seem to be the fan favorite.
I like that. I like that we're giving the small guy an opportunity as well to win a giant, cool, super rad boat.
Well, it's a modest entry fee, and everybody's got a chance, and could potentially be life-changing money for some people.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, okay, so like you mentioned, the grand prize is a yellowfin boat and the payout to the top 25. So can people that don't find the big one still have a chance to win something?
Absolutely. If you catch a fish and you send us a picture, we do a Nimnik Lucky Ticket, which just for catching a fish, your name goes in a hat, and we're going to pull out your name, and you're going to win $10,000
Whoa!
Cash. Just for catching a 10-pounder. And we've had many, many stories. It's a family fishing event. We had 400 lady anglers last year, 395 juniors, and it's not a huge budget event, so it works out really well for families, and we love seeing all the families fishing together.
I think it's amazing. Okay, so is there a charitable aspect?
Sure, absolutely. Dailies is our title sponsor, and we contribute to the Dailies Foundation, as well as other charities, all along, but the Dailies Foundation would be our main charity that we support. They take care of the kids and the Children's Hospital and Nemours and all that. So we're grateful for them, and we like to give back to them.
So one of the things that you just mentioned was encouraging junior and lady anglers, right? So tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, if entry fees are thousands of dollars and these guys have these giant fish on the line, let's face it, the guys, we're kind of macho men. We don't want to let wife and son reel them in or daughter reel them in. But with a modest $250 entry fee, and you're within
3 miles or
3 miles, then you can hand the rod off and let the kids have a good time. And if it gets away, I mean, maybe if they see a 40 or 50 pounder, they might not hand it to junior, but the amount of kids that have participated and the amount of the smiles on their faces is just absolutely inspiring for all of us. And that's our favorite part of doing it.
Okay, so where do we go to learn more?
oldschoolkingfish.com. The captain's meeting is tomorrow, so if you're interested in fishing, we're still taking entries today, so look forward to seeing everybody this weekend. We have over 500 boats registered already, so it should be a great turnout. The weather looks great. I saw the weatherman walking around here. Tip of the cap to him, so it should be a beautiful day.
Right on. Paul, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it, man. You guys have a great weekend. I know it's going to be a fantastic tournament. All right, guys, still to come, we continue our week of showcasing the St. Augustine Alligator Farm and Zoological Park. This time, we'll show you their ginormous Croc Maximo. Plus, we'll sit down with the Girl Scouts to talk about summer camps after these messages. We'll be right back.
This summer, Universal Orlando Resort presents a summer of thrills, adventure, and fun. It's a summer you'll never forget.
First Coast Living wants to send you to experience the summer fun at Universal Orlando Resort. Be the 12th person to call 904-605-2525. Lines are open now. You can find official rules and more at firstcoastnews.com/contests. Welcome back, everybody. Summer is here, and it's time for girls across North Florida to unplug, explore, and make memories at camp. From overnight adventures and outdoor fun to hands-on STEM experiences right here in Jacksonville, Girl Scouts of Gateway Council has opportunities for girls of all ages, and you don't even have to be a Girl Scout to join. Here to tell us more about it is Gabby and Shritha. Gabby, Shritha, thank you so very much for being here today. I really do appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
It is our pleasure, I promise. So a lot of people think you have to be a Girl Scout to attend Camp Powered by Girl Scouts. Is that true, or can other girls join the fun as well?
So you nailed that in the intro. We actually accept all girls K through 12 to join our camps.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Great deal. Okay, so tell us about some of the camps that you guys offer.
So we have Camp Kateri, which is a day camp, and then also a residential camp, so you can kind of choose your own flavor of what you want to explore. We are also offering a STEM camp where we invite in subject matter experts at our Jacksonville Leadership Center, which is new for us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Those will be great. All right, so what can the girls do at the camp? You know, tell us some of the fun things that they'll be involved in.
Well, we have archery, sailing, canoeing, and kayaking, as well as wood, carving. I have this super cool wood carving thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You guys do all the fun stuff, right? I love canoeing, kayaking, all that kind of stuff, and I think we're even gonna do a little archery here in just a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about safety, though, right? So, you know, we have to stay safe when we do these kind of activities.
Yeah, so we know that safety is a main concern for our parents. So our Camp Kateri property is American Camp Associated accredited. So that means that we have strict standards that we're following. We also have a nurse that's on 24/7, as well as our camp rangers, as well as our counselors that are CPR and first aid certified.
Fantastic. That puts my mind at ease for sure. Okay, so when does camp begin?
So it's already started,
Okay, cool.
but that does not mean it's too late to join. So
Great.
we had it starting June 7th through July 17th, and then STEM camp, which I referenced earlier, we have next week. So that's going to be the 15th through the 19th, as well as Smile Camp, the 15th through the 19th.
And how do we register?
So you go to gsgateway.org/camp, and then you find the week that works best for you and your family.
I dig it. I dig it. Let's go try some archery. What do you think?
Yes.
Let's go! Follow me, I know the way. Do. Be careful, please. There's a lot of stuff over here. Whoa! Check this out. This is crazy cool.
So we have inflatable archery for you.
Whoa! Dang, this is cool. You're gonna do so much better than me, I promise. Right on. Man, I haven't shot a bow and arrow in ages. Okay.
You want to make sure it clicks in.
Okay. Right here. Good deal. There we go. Do I want it on the thumb side or the finger side? Thumb side? Oh no. I gotta switch. Okay, cool. All right, are we ready to go? Okay. Just hit whatever? Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go for the green one.
I'll go for red.
Okay. 3, 2. Well, I almost hit your red one. Here, I'll try again. This is cool. This is great. So this is what we're gonna learn if we go to camp? Yeah. You're gonna shoot me too? All right, let's see where we can go. Ready? Let's Robin Hood this. Green one. Oh no! Oh no!
Nice.
Oh, yeah, all right. Well, you know, we're close-ish. So, hey, let me ask you real quick. So, what is your favorite part of camp?
My favorite part of camp is probably archery or canoeing. Canoeing, it's like the feeling when you're on the water. It's genuinely so amazing, feeling the breeze in your hair.
Yes.
And archery, when I hit a bullseye, I got my first bullseye patch too.
What? Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so fun.
That's cool. All right, let's try this one more time. Well, again, I almost took out the red one instead of the green one. And she winds up. Whoa, that was so close. That was so close. That was awesome. Great job. This is amazing. Okay, so real quick, one more time, give me the website that we can go to register and stuff.
So gsgateway.org/camp.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. This was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. back after the break. This was great. Oh.
at the Alligator Farm and Zoological Park. I am here with Josie Taylor, the Curator of Education, and we're hanging out with Maximo here. And this is an experience or an encounter that folks can do here?
Yes, so you guys are currently up top on our Maximo feeding platform.
Oh my.
And this is an experience that guests can book so that they get a bird's eye view on Saturday afternoon of our VIP Maximo feeding. So for this one, folks would stand right over there near that fun little roofed-in space, and they'd get to watch our reptile team do the entire training session with Maximo away from the crowd, higher up. You get just a different view angle to see all of Maximo's training. He has 3 stations that he's going to run through, of course, right, voluntary training. But we also have Sydney in here as well. She is currently hanging out behind the scenes, but Sydney likes to come out and do the training too. And a fun fact about her is we didn't teach her the training.
Cool.
These guys are incredibly smart. And she watched Maximo do this training. And she saw that he was getting a reward every time he participated in training.
That's amazing.
And she thought to herself, I want that.
That's amazing, because you were telling us off camera that like alligators and crocodiles, their brains they have the ability to kind of process more information than some other animals. Right?
So they have a true cerebral cortex. That means they have the ability to process aspects of higher thought and learning. So that can be things like their name, but a really big one is patterns. So Maximo is used to his feeding pattern. He knows on Saturdays he's going to get fed, and he knows the pattern that the food items are going to be given to him. Station 1, Station 2, all culminating in Station 3, the jump station at the end. Sydney was watching that, and she saw that he got those food reward items, so she likes to come out and participate as well.
That is so cool.
So it's a pretty cool opportunity to see both of our largest crocodilians on property here.
That's amazing. Maximo is super cool. So this used to be the Gomek enclosure though, right?
It was. So Gomek is the individual who put us on the map. We now have a little museum for him in the back of the park. He passed away in 1997, but he at the time was the largest crocodile in captivity. 17 feet, 9.5 inches, over 2,000 pounds. He put us in the Guinness Book of World Records at one point in time. People really found out about the alligator farm because he was here living with us. So he's a saltwater crocodile just like Maximo, and they're the largest species in the world. Recorded lengths 20 to 22 feet long. Quite a bit.
I'm good. That's so scary.
Lots of crocodile there for you.
That's crazy. Okay, so, but we do have crocodiles in the United States, right?
We do. Florida is incredibly unique. We're the only place in the entire world that has both alligators and crocodiles. So if you head to South Florida, you're in maybe Everglades down to the Keys, you'll still see our American alligators that we have all throughout the state, but you'll also start to see those American crocodiles as well. And they're going to traverse from South America up here into parts of North America, making Florida incredibly unique with that ecosystem.
Now let me ask you this, which one typically gets bigger, or it just depends? Crocodile
Very much depends on the species. So when we're saying which one's the biggest, crocodile typically takes that trophy, that award there, right? Because the saltwater crocodile is the largest species. But you're also going to have some species of crocodile and some species of what we call caiman that are fairly small, like our dwarf caimans at the front of the park. Those guys 2 to 5 feet long, and American alligators 8 to 13-ish feet on average. So they all sort of intersperse together when it comes to those sizes.
This is very cool. Josie, okay, so if folks want to participate in this, they want to do the Maximo experience, how do they do it?
Yeah, so you're going to go ahead and go to alligatorfarm.com and go to Book Encounters. We have all sorts, our sloth encounter, our Galapagos encounter, behind the scenes, and of course, Maximo. It only happens on Saturdays at noon. So make sure you're planning ahead with your visit if that's something that you want to see, and we take about 6 people up here at a time.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing us Maximo. Kind of looks like it feels good in that water right now.
Yeah, I'm good though.
I could use a splash.
I think I'll just stay
but not in there. Yeah, I agree.
Look at his face.
Whoa. The teeth.
Whoa, buddy.
Live from the studios of First Coast News, Jordan Wilkerson.
First Coast Living live.
And David Benfield.
Sounds good to me.
Well, come join us.
This is First Coast Living.
Welcome back to First Coast Living, everybody. For those of us who are working for the weekend, it's almost here. It's time for our Window of the Weekend event guide. Let's take a look at everything happening across the First Coast. We're going to kick it off with Celebrate America 250 at the Jax Beach Country Fest. This is a free, family-friendly music festival. The music lineup features Ashley Cook, Preston Cooper, Madden Metcalf, and friend of the show, Stephen Quinn, will also be rocking the stage. The fun starts at 2 p.m. and goes until 9 p.m. For more information, head to jaxbeachcountryfest.net. Calling all soccer hooligans, the World Cup officially starts today at 3 p.m. And if you need a place to watch all the soccer action and see the best of the world clash for glory, you can head over to the Cole Hans Irish Pub for their FIFA World Cup watch party. They have 2 locations. You can head over there daily to make sure your heart is chock full with World Cup action. Head to colehansirishpub.com for more information. All right, speaking of soccer, this weekend you can watch the Sporting Jax soccer team take on Detroit City FC at Hodges Stadium on the University of North Florida campus. Game time is set for 7 p.m. on Saturday, and if you want tickets, just head over to sportingjax.com. Now, you can catch your Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp in action this weekend. They'll be taking on the Gwinnett Stripers. First pitch for Saturday is set for 6:30 p.m. And make sure to stay after the game for the fireworks. Then on Sunday, you can watch the series finale against the Stripers. First pitch is set for 2:05 p.m. For tickets and more information, head to jaxshrimp.com. All right, guys, let's get Mike Prengley in here. This is time for Rain or Shine. I've got meteorologist Mike Prengley, who is making his way over here.
It's World Cup Day.
It is.
And you did great with the archery. I couldn't believe that was a really cool segment.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
It was. Now, 104 matches of soccer. You ready?
Crazy.
So we're taking a look at the soccer ball spinning. First match, Mexico City. So I know a lot of folks are going to those watch parties. Just a 20% chance of showers. So folks were asking, is all that tropical trouble? We talk about Mexico affecting the games. Yeah. It's not.
Okay,
it's all
cool.
Going to be good.
Right on.
Now, let's get to some of that summer camp action. Now, we talked about the Girl Scouts camp starting with STEM next week, but we've got the YMCA summer camp, okay? So
very cool.
As we look at the weather for the rest of today for pickup later on, I mean, they've got great swim weather. Look at the double.
This is wonderful.
Yeah,
this
storms,
is super swim weather right there.
It's great. Just vintage weather, okay, for the kids. And we're going to continue this summer pattern all the way through the weekend. Our wives are going to be okay.
Yes.
They'll be okay. There may be a pop-up shower storm in the afternoon like we see in July. But
well, that's where you just pop over, get yourself a little beverage, and then you go back out and hang out after it's blown through.
Exactly. Okay. Now
got
today,
ideas.
if we get one of those daily downpours, it's Gainesville, Lake Butler, and Stark.
Okay.
All right. So, but it's more about the heat and humidity, low nights. Here's our weather scorecard. I've related it to golf. So notice it's all green Thursday and Friday. An ace and a bogey.
Okay.
Okay. Now, where you start to see the yellows and reds, that's the best chance of rain. So Saturday and Sunday, notice it's where the sea breezes collide in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, it's just in the. See, Lena, it's okay. I told you it was in the evening.
Julie, it's fine. I love you. Okay. And it's just going to be a couple hours, not an all-day rain.
I love it.
Okay. So and when the thunder roars,
head indoors.
Perfect. Beach forecast, there it is, low 90s, so you know it's going to be a hot weekend, but we're good. We can handle this with the sea breezes.
Not a problem at all.
One quick look at the 7-day. Yes, most of the rain in the 7-day. If we do get any washouts, it would be next week with the front where that 70% chance is.
Not bad at all.
So we got it, right?
That looks good. Okay, Mike, thank you so very much.
I'm going to go work on my archery. Try to be like you.
Oh, stop. Yeah. No, I got some work to do. All right, let's walk. We're heading back over to the Winn-Dixie Kitchen, brought to you by ProCraft Cabinetry. I'm back here with Sarah the Salt Lady. Hello again, madam.
Hello.
Okay, so that salad was phenomenal.
Yeah, 3 great. You and Jordan are always shocked that I can make something taste really good with so few ingredients, but it's because of the quality of the produce. And of course, our salts make everything taste better too. So yeah.
What are we doing now?
All right, so besides the lemon herb, the other new flavor that just released is Greek. This one has marjoram in it, which we're growing, and Chandeco Farms has grown marjoram for us. So it's a fresh, brand new one because marjoram needs a little bit of time, especially we had a late freeze this year. So it took a while for us to get marjoram. It also has dill and basil, so it's a great one for meats, for salads. It's just a universal flavor.
Do you know I used to grow marjoram and I had no idea what to use it for?
But that's
it just
people
grew.
are scared. People are always scared of different herbs that they're just unfamiliar with. But it's like I always tell people just try this on something. You know, they're like, what do I use the Greek on? I'm like, any meats,
whatever.
any vegetables.
I Go try it.
Go to the farmer's market, look around, buy some meat and produce or whatever, and then use my salt and a simple, like, any kind of oil or whatever, depending on what you're making, and then you're done.
Love it.
So that's basically what I'm going to do here. So I have one of the heirloom tomatoes from Chandanko Farms and some watermelon from another farmer at Riverside Arts Market. We're going to use our Greek salt all around the whole entire thing, even on the watermelon. Some people are like salt watermelon, and some people are like, ooh, salt watermelon, So we have all different types. I'm going to use this lemon oil from Nona's Table. This is a Riverside Arts Market vendor as well. But we talked a little bit off air. Use any kind of oil you have in your pantry that you're sitting there on that has been really nice and you haven't used it for whatever reason. So use a little bit of that. And then this is a balsamic glaze, which I think is really fun too. It's a little bit more sticky than the balsamic vinegars, which like run everywhere. This like stays on there. And then cheese. You can use a mozzarella, slices, but I love feta.
Feta and watermelon, like actually, and no kidding, tomorrow, guys, I'm gonna make a watermelon salad for living in the kitchen, and it has a bunch of feta in it. It's the jam.
There's no better combo. And I gave you a knife because they're big pieces, but you can chop this all up and just throw it in a to-go container. Again, we were talking about like those mason jar salads. Stuff like this is sturdier that if you don't have lettuce, and lettuce is not growing outdoors right now. So a salad without lettuce is actually kind of easier to get than 3 simple ingredients, a little cheese, some fresh produce, you're done. That simple.
That is delicious.
So you can find all of my salts, of course, at the market with all these other people. I'm at Riverside Market all the time. I'm at Atlantic Beach Farmers Market all the time. So you can get the salts and you can get the produce all at one.
I love it. Thank you so very much. Sarah, the Salt Lady, everybody, make sure that you go out there and hang out with her. But stick around, guys. We'll be right back after the break. I'm gonna chomp
Do
down.
it.
This summer, Universal Orlando Resort presents a summer of thrills, adventure, and fun. It's a summer you'll never forget. And it's only at Universal Orlando Resort.
Welcome back, everybody. We're joined by a sports organization focused on helping normalize conversations around mental health, particularly for men and their families. We're joined by Bill Sharp and Terry Andrews. Thank you so very much for being here today. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks.
All right, so tell us about Ace the Stigma and what does the organization do?
Okay, well, it was founded when a close family member, friend of mine, died by suicide.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And the family made a very brave and a strong decision to take a stance to try to do something to help other people.
Absolutely.
And so we formed the organization to stand behind breaking the stigma of what can be associated with mental health, and we created a tennis tournament that is both in Charlotte and in Jacksonville, and it's to raise funds and help people that are going through this mental health struggle. Let them know that there's help for you, and try to break this wall down to try to help the people that really do need to get the help.
Absolutely. Okay, so can you talk a little bit about the impact suicide has on the friends and families of the person struggling?
You know, I think it was devastating. I remember when I got the phone call from the sister of the family, and it totally threw me off guard. And I think that the thing that I've seen in their family that has just been devastating is what was going on.
Right.
Why? Because a lot of times we don't get those answers.
Yeah, because it's locked up inside somebody's mind, right? It's the little special box that nobody else can get inside.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, that's, wow. All right, so do you have any advice for people who may suspect that a family member is struggling?
One of the things that I've learned through this journey is to have conversations with the friends and family and the people that you know, and just check in.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how somebody's doing. Everybody's fighting a battle, we just don't know what it is.
Right.
And so if we can have more conversations with people that we know and find out what's really going on with them, there's an opportunity that is presented that might lead someone to get the help that they need.
Absolutely, I like that. All right, so y'all have some events coming up where people can support the work that you're doing. So can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, we have an event that starts this weekend. Tonight we have a VIP event, and then tomorrow we have our tennis event at the Florida Yacht Club. And we're all tennis players, so all the brothers, we were all tennis players growing up. We've known each other since childhood. And so we have that event coming up this weekend, and in Charlotte next week we have another event. And so it's all centered around tennis. Anybody that wants to learn about it, if you go to acethestigma.com, you can learn about what we have going on this weekend next week. And we encourage everybody to participate, come, see what we're doing, and everybody's welcome.
Absolutely. All right, so what is here tomorrow? And why are you the fundraiser recipients this year of the Ace the Stigma event?
Sure. So here tomorrow we are completely philanthropic, and we provide peer-based support to individuals that are struggling with suicide or hopelessness. And so we're grateful for Ace the Stigma because, believe it or not, 70% of those that choose to or take their life are middle-aged men. And so this is why our program resonates so well with Ace the Stigma, because Chuck was in his 50s.
Yeah. So if there's folks out there who want to learn more, or maybe they want to help, where do we send them?
So you can go to acethestigma.com. You can go to heretomorrow.org, especially if you are struggling with thoughts of wanting to hurt yourself, or you can always call 988 anytime.
Very cool. Thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. You're doing fantastic work and helping a lot of people. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Guys, stick around. We'll be right back. summer is a time for vacations, family gatherings, and major events like the World Cup. And no one wants those plans disrupted by illness. That's why pharmacist Loretta Giusti is urging early action to keep those summer plans on track. Thank you so very much for joining us today. So why is it important to take respiratory symptoms seriously even during the summer?
Good to be with you, David. So we're here as pharmacists. I'm a Floridian as well, and I just want to not have our plans get derailed by things that can get more serious. So I'm here to talk about COVID. It's still a thing, and if you're somebody who has any sort of comorbidity like high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, to come in and see your local pharmacist. We're equipped to help test and treat you.
All right, so when should someone move beyond over-the-counter medications and seek additional care?
So we're all unique and special, and as your community pharmacist, we're here and we're going to help make that decision with you, right? So Floridians, we love to be prepared and informed. So we want to make sure that if you're somebody that has any sort of a high-risk situation, that we are doing early treatment and early testing, because these medications do work within 5 to 7 days of symptoms beginning.
All right, how can pharmacists help people decide whether they need testing or treatment?
So we base a lot of this information on shared information that the patient is sharing with us, right? We want to ask them what are the symptoms that they're experiencing, because a lot of these viruses, they do overlap and symptoms overlap. So it may not just be fatigue, it may not just be allergies, it might be something a little bit more serious. So that's why testing early is just so important.
I gotcha. Okay, so what steps can people take to keep illness from disrupting summer travel and family plans?
So first, universal precautions, right? Keep our hands clean, make sure that we're washing those before we eat. If you're feeling sick, try to stay home. And then obviously, if you're not feeling better within 24, 36 hours, we want you to go into the pharmacy early so we can test and treat you and get you going back to that World Cup watching.
I love it. I love it. Loretta, thank you so very much for hanging out with us today. But before I let you go, where can we go to learn some more information?
So we want to see you at our local community pharmacies. Come by and stop and visit us. We are easily accessible, and we're here 7 days a week.
Thank you so very much, Loretta. We really do appreciate your time. Folks at home, if you want to catch this segment again or others like it, just head over to First Coast News Plus. All right, that's going to do it for us today, but make sure that you tune in tomorrow. Fun